The goat or domestic goat is a domesticated species of goat antelope typically kept as livestock. It was domesticated from the wild goat of Southwest Asia and Eastern Europe. The goat is a member of the animal family Bovidae and the tribe Caprinae, meaning it is closely related to the sheep. Goat, any ruminant and hollow-horned mammal belonging to the genus Cypera. Related to the sheep, the goat is lighter of build, has horns that arch backward, a short tail, and straighter hair. Male goats, called bucks or billies, usually have a beard. Females are called does or nannies, and immature goats are called kids. Wild goats include the ibex and marker. Domesticated goats are descended from the Pasang, Cypera aegregis, which is probably native to Asia, the earliest records being Persian. In China, Great Britain, Europe, and North America, the domestic goat is primarily a milk producer, with a large portion of the milk being used to make cheese. 1 or 2 goats will supply sufficient milk for a family throughout the year and can be maintained in small quarters, where it would be uneconomical to keep a cow. For large-scale milk production, goats are inferior to cattle in the temperate zone, but superior in the torrid and frigid zones. Goat flesh is edible, that from young kids being quite tender and more delicate in flavor than lamb, which it resembles. Some breeds, notably the Angora and Cashmere, are raised for their wool. See also wool, Cashmere, Angora goat. Young goats are the source of kid leather. A baby goat is called a kid, but did you know that a goat giving birth is said to be kidding? Goats are sociable animals and therefore become depressed if they are separated or isolated from their companions. However, they are not flock-orientated like sheep. They are one of the cleanliest animals and are much more selective feeders than cows, sheep, pigs, swine and even dogs. Goats are very intelligent and curious animals. Their inquisitive nature is exemplified in their constant desire to explore and investigate anything unfamiliar which they come across. They communicate with each other by bleating. Mothers will often call to their young kids to ensure they stay close by. Mother and kid goats recognize each other's calls soon after the mothers give birth. Goats can be taught their name and to come when called. They are very picky eaters. They have very sensitive lips, which they use to mouth things in search of clean and tasty food. They will often refuse to eat hay that has been walked on or lying around loose for a day. Goats use the sneeze sound as an alarm. They use a sneeze to warn each other of danger, whether real or imagined. They are extremely intelligent and curious and are very often not given credit for being the smart and loving creatures they actually are. Goats dislike water and would rather leap over streams and puddles than step in them. A female goat is called a doe or nanny, and a male goat is called a buck or billy. Baby goats are called kids, and when a female goat gives birth it is called kidding. Within minutes of being born, kids are standing and taking their first steps. Unlike in fairy tales, real goats won't eat just any old thing. Goats are not grazers, they are referred to as browsers or foragers. They have a very strong and sensitive upper lip that helps them sort through the vegetation and pick what they like. Goats are very social animals and live in groups called herds. They are happiest when provided with social interactions with other goats, animals and humans. Goats can even tell a happy human from an unhappy human, and they prefer to spend time with happy people. They are even able to watch a person solve a problem and copy the person to access a food reward. This shape allows them to have a wider field of vision than humans and other animals that have circular pupils. They can see 320–340 degrees around them, without having to move. The ability to see everything around them, except for what is directly behind them, is very useful in avoiding predators. However, goats have to move their head if they want to look up or down due to the rectangular pupil shape. Goats communicate with each other through vocalizations called bleating. The sound of these calls is what allows goats to identify individuals and recognize emotional states. Each baby goat, kid, has a distinct call, and that helps its mother recognize it. Despite popular belief, both male and female goats can have beards. Both male and female goats also sometimes have wattles, bits of skin that dangle from their head or neck. No one is sure why they have them, but one thing is for sure, wattles is fun to say. Instead, They have a strong, hard dental pad that helps them break down the food. As all domestic breeds of goats are descended from mountain goats, making them excellent climbers with great balance. Mountain goats can jump up to 12 feet or 3.5 meters in a single bound. Some goats have also been observed climbing trees.